The wait is over. The festive season is finally here. Yet, let's not use this time as a time to throw away everything that we've worked for throughout the year. So, it's not a time to start forgetting about your health and just pushing it aside. Far from it, in fact. Alrighty, so today I'm going to take you through some of my top tips on how you can actually thrive through this Christmas and festive season. Alrighty, so the festive season usually brings about images or imagery in our head of, the big roast turkey with all the trimmings, the desserts, the, tables full of food. And it can be a time where we lose a little bit of control. Alrighty, drinking, food, lots and lots of indulging, and a lot of the time, not a lot of prioritization may go into movement. Alrighty, so it's really common for Christmas time and that festive period to really start to take a toll on our health. And January being one of the main months that it's very common for people to then believe that they need to then start a new health and fitness program because they believe they've stuffed themselves silly over the festive season. Now, I'm here to tell you that we can actually maintain our health, and we can maintain our weight over this season, and we can thrive through the Christmas period. Alrighty, so I'm going to jump straight into it and go into my top tips to see you thrive through this festive season. So tip number 1 is to keep active and actually keep moving. I know for me, Christmas Day especially is a day where we do eat a lot more food than perhaps we normally would. We may eat foods that we don't usually eat, which makes us feel a little bit sluggish, a little bit lethargic. So I actually really enjoy actually going out in the morning and going down to the park and playing some frisbee or playing a little bit of cricket or something that just gets you moving with the family. And you've got the added benefit then of actually then spending extra time with your family outside of the dinner table as such. So you're bonding while moving as well as being out in the fresh air. So to me, it's a win-win situation. Alrighty, so rather than sitting down and say watching TV throughout the day or even Boxing Day, I enjoy watching the cricket on Boxing Day, actually, the Boxing Day test. However, I do also like to get up and move around. So let's spend a little bit less time on the couch, chilling out, and a little bit more time actually moving our bodies. Alrighty, so we're consuming extra food that, as I said, we may not consume on a normal basis. It's heavy, it's usually calorie laden, so fatty, maybe fried foods or desserts or foods that are just make you feel a little bit blah in the tummy if you happen to overeat. So let's get outside, let's get a little active and really then help the digestion process by moving around. Alrighty, and of course exercise helps to keep you in shape and it helps to actually flush those toxins through your bloodstream and helps you to improve your circulation as well. Alrighty, so number 2 tip, alrighty, so actually increase your fruit and vegetables. So I've already talked a little bit about, some of the foods that we may indulge in or overindulge. So what we can do to avoid that overindulgence is actually load our plate full of veggies and salad and fruit first. Alrighty, so we have a larger serve of the salad, minus all the dressings or the creamy, fat-laden dressings. But fill your plate full of fresh salad items and vegetables, alrighty? So straight away, it's going to be full of fiber. They're light, they're less calories per food as such, and it just helps you to feel fuller for longer as well because it's full of fiber, which also in its place helps with the toilet trips as well. Alrighty, and they're full of all the micronutrients and vitamins that we do need. Alrighty. So they're also then going to help with skin, so glowing skin, and as I mentioned, help with the bowel movements, keeping things regular down there too. Alrighty, so that's tip number 2, increase your fruit and vegetable intake. Alrighty, so number 3, portion control. So again, just look at how much you're actually putting onto your plate. Have a situation where maybe you grab a smaller plate than everyone else, so you're not privy to just piling the food on. Alrighty, so have a situation where you grab a protein source, so maybe some turkey or some meat. Make sure you fill your plate full of some vegetables there, and then limit the amount of maybe carb-laden foods. The pastas, the potatoes, and everything like that, so that you're not feeling as if you're filling up on some of those more highly dense and highly caloric foods. Alrighty, and I'm not by any means saying to avoid carbs as such. A lot of the time, the most common food that we do overeat, and it's because it's so easy to eat, is our carbohydrates. And it's usually those convenient carbohydrates that are full of sugar. They're full of trans fats, your cakes, your pastries, your pies, so your mince pies, those type of foods. We want to try and reduce our intake. Alrighty. So actually have a smaller size meal, or a smaller size bowl or plate with the meal on it, and then actually after you've finished that plate, wait 10-15 minutes and consider, am I actually still feeling hungry? If so, by all means, go and grab, something else that you enjoy to eat. But don't, for me, I fall as well. I fall into the habit of piling up my plate, and then because I was brought up, so my beliefs are that, you need to finish everything on your plate, that can send us into a point where we're feeling bloated, and we're just not feeling good. So if we put a little bit less on our plate to begin with, and then after eating that, if we are still hungry after a short wait, by all means, go and grab a second helping. However, don't feel as if you need to finish everything that is on your plate. So reduce your portion size. And we want to be able to then listen to our body as such. So listen for those satiety cues. Listen and feel for, how do you feel after eating? So ask yourself those questions and become really body aware. And that's going to help you then, in not overeating or overindulging. Alrighty. Now, piecing together with that, pairing it up, is actually gut repair. So we want to look at, because we may be eating foods that we wouldn't normally eat on a regular basis, some of those foods that are richer, and that, more alcohol. We may be consuming more alcohol than we normally would do as well if we're going out to parties or anything like that, or having those extra chocolate treats. Our digestive system is going to need a little bit of extra TLC at this time. Alrighty, so one way that we can actually enhance and improve our digestion at this time is looking at a probiotic. Alrighty, so that's going to help just to repair our gut in this sense. Now, a high level of vegetables is also going to help here as well. So that goes hand in hand with actually eating more vegetables. And the reason being, vegetables are really high in fiber, really high in those micronutrients and vitamins that actually just keep our gut nice and healthy. Alrighty. Number 5, so heading straight into number 5 is drink more water. Alrighty, so we want to make sure we're adequately hydrated throughout the day, because the more food that we consume, the more our body needs the water to be able to manage the intake, so to be able to manage the load that we're consuming. Alrighty, so it's going to keep us well hydrated, and it's also going to help to actually flush out the toxins of some of those rich, overindulgent foods that we may be consuming as well. Now, if you're someone that doesn't enjoy just drinking plain water, pop some extra flavoring in there, like a squeeze of fresh lemon, some mint leaves, some cucumber. It just gives it that extra little kick, so to speak, that allows you to then just enjoy your water that little bit more. And water is so important in this space, alrighty? So we need to keep hydrated. It's also going to enhance our energy, alrighty? If we're hydrated, we're gonna feel more energetic. Alrighty. Now, heading into if you're going out to parties, so you've probably been to a whole heap of parties already throughout December, but coming up for the last couple of weeks and Christmas time and New Year's, consider actually having something to eat before you go out. So a lot of the times you can't actually control, what you're going to be served at a party as such. So if you're to eat something that's high in protein and high in fiber before you go out, then you're less likely to overeat when you go out, because you're going to be fuller when you actually arrive. And by all means, I'm not then saying that you can't eat something while you're out. Absolutely not. But you're less likely to then keep picking at some of the foods that you may not choose to eat on a normal basis, because you're already feeling full. And if you're feeling full, you're not going to, or you're less likely to want to continue to eat. Alrighty. And, in turn, that means that you're less likely to gorge or overeat unnecessary calories. Alrighty. And when we go to a party hungry, or we go out somewhere hungry, or even if we go to Coles, or, you shop to do your grocery shopping hungry, what happens? Like, I know for me, if I go to Coles and I'm hungry, there's a lot of food that goes in my trolley that isn't always foods that are serving me. I'm reaching for those highly palatable foods, the chips, the chocolate, those type of things. And they're foods that I know that aren't going to serve me in the best possible way. But at the time that I'm hungry, all my senses are heightened. So my sense of sight, my sense of smell, my tummy, what I can hear around me, what I'm, if I'm picturing something or can see something on the shelf, I'm picturing how it's going to taste. And those highly palatable foods, they taste good. They're meant to taste good. They're made by the food companies to taste good. So we want to be limiting those type of foods, to avoid overeating in that sense. Alrighty. And another good thing to actually eat before you go out is some foods that are high in our healthy fats. So think about things like some almonds for nuts. They're high in good, healthy fats. A boiled egg, or a small piece of salmon in that space. So they're filling us with those omega-3s and omega-6s, those healthy monounsaturated fats that are gonna also help with allowing us to feel full and help with us to avoid, overeating while we're at the party. Alrighty. And this then leads into pace yourself. So if you're going to a party and you're choosing to drink a few drinks of alcohol, no problem at all. However, look at actually pacing yourself in that situation. Now, I know this one's a little bit challenging and, of course, easier said than done. And I myself, I've been out before with all best intentions not to, drink or consume too much alcohol. But when you're in the feel of things, you're socializing, you're talking to friends, maybe you're having a little dance, sometimes we can get carried away and we can drink a little bit more than we plan on drinking. So some tips here is to actually then substitute some water in. So every second drink, have a big glass of water. Alrighty, so it's just going to help keep you hydrated, help flush the alcohol through our system. And I can say from experience as well, you're going to feel better the next morning too, because the headache may not be quite as harsh if we're swapping out some of those alcoholic drinks for some water or, a soft drink or like a non-sugar soft drink, soda water, tonic water, sparkling water, anything like that. Alrighty. Now, B vitamins kind of link into this as well. So your B vitamins are then also helping with the flushing out of those toxins from the alcohol, and they're going to make you feel fresher in the morning as well. Alrighty. So, and that's because the B vitamins are directly linked to alcohol metabolism. So we want to metabolize that alcohol as quickly as we can through our system to get rid of it. And that allows us to feel better. Alrighty. So drinking alcohol is going to increase the amount of inflammation within our gut as well. So, those things that I mentioned before to help with the gut repair, they're going to come in handy here as well. Alrighty, now another big one as well is before you go to bed, so you come home, you're ready to just, fall into bed, have a big glass of water, some B vitamins and even some magnesium if you can as well. Just helps to, as I said, flush out those alcohol toxins, promote your energy, increase your energy in that sense and keep you hydrated so that you can feel a lot better in the morning. Alrighty. Okay, so number 9 I'm up to. So once at the party or once at, the family's house or anything like that, try and make better food choices as well. So, maybe go for, a homemade hummus dip or a guacamole type of dip and vegetable sticks rather than those, corn chips, natural corn chips, rather than, the calorie laden or the fat laden, desserts or fried foods. Alrighty, your gut is going to thank you for it later. Alrighty, so it just is cutting down then on that caloric intake to help then be able to maintain your weight throughout this season, because it is possible. We can go through December actually maintaining our weight. So we don't have to feel as if, we're putting on a number of kilos over the month of December and then having to work or feeling as if we're having to start again when it comes to January just to fight or, to get rid of the excess weight that we've put on through the month of December. Alrighty, we can go through December maintaining our weight, which I actually believe is a huge win if we're able to maintain our weight. So we're actually having a gain in that sense because it's so common to put on an extra couple of kilos through December. If you're able to maintain your weight, then you don't have to, as I mentioned, feel as if you come to January and you have to start again. Like, it doesn't have to be that way. We can maintain our weight through December. Now, we've been to the party, we've come home, we've had some drinks, we're feeling a little bit tipsy. Maybe we didn't actually eat very much at the party because we were having an extra couple of drinks. So the next tip is actually avoid eating late at night. Now, hands up who's come home and actually opened the fridge. You're feeling a little bit tipsy, you've been drinking, you've opened the fridge and you just eat anything you can get your hands on. I know I certainly have done that in the past. Alrighty, so eating late at night, before bedtime can actually interfere with our digestion process. Alrighty, so that then, and a lot of the times we don't actually really need to eat. maybe we're bored or we're just feeling hungry because we've consumed the alcohol in as such. So avoid the feelings of, eating those extra foods that you don't actually need. And they're going to cause unnecessarily weight gain as well if it's something that you're going to regularly do. Alrighty, so when you're coming home from the party, have that big drink of water that I was talking about with some magnesium, with some B vitamins, and get to bed as soon as you can to try and, get the best quality sleep that you possibly can with alcohol in your system, because it's always going to affect your sleep. Alrighty, and then if you've eaten late at night as well, your food is going to be sitting in your stomach at that point. So it's going to make it a little bit more challenging for you to fall asleep as well, because your body is working extra hard at trying to digest the food that you've just consumed. Alrighty, so when it comes to the festive season as well, it's important to not only look after your physical health, but your mental health as well, because Christmas time and, the festive season can be a time of sadness and a time of loneliness for some people as well. Someone may have just lost a partner recently. They may have family that doesn't live close by or are in different states or maybe even different countries. And you may not have a lot of close friends that you're able to hang out with or spend time with over this period as well. So it can be a time of sadness as well. Alrighty, so just really take the time to look after your mental health in this space as well, alrighty, because that is something that's as important as our physical health too. And if you're someone that's experiencing this situation at Christmas time, then please reach out. We would love to help to make your day just that little bit brighter. Alrighty, now next tip here is try not to stress. Again, easier said than done, especially if you're having guests over at your house on Christmas Day or, New Year's Eve, because when it is at your house, you feel a lot more responsibility. Alrighty, so it's easy to, have those extra, or those feelings of, feeling overwhelmed or feeling that little bit of extra stress knowing that people are coming to your house. Alrighty, so try to keep things in perspective and just add a little bit of sense of humor to the day as well, and if something goes wrong, if food gets burnt or, a glass is dropped or a plate is dropped, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. We will be able to move through it and we will be able to get past it. Alrighty, so it's just one extra day of the year. Please don't let it overwhelm you too much. Alrighty, so really put some stress coping mechanisms and strategies into play leading up to this period as well. Alrighty, and another thing I would say to you, and I've kind of touched on it a little bit, Christmas time or, this festive season, it's not the time to start a new diet, alrighty, or, a new nutrition plan as such where it may be a little bit restrictive. Like there's gonna be a lot of temptations around you at this time of year. There's going to be more alcohol consumed. There's going to be a little bit more food and, chocolates and chips and, some of those foods that we may not always eat on a regular basis. It's going to be a little bit more readily available. So try not to put the extra pressure on yourself at this time to start a diet that I believe at this time you will see it as being quite restrictive. Alrighty, and what we know, and just in my experience, any time that you find something restrictive, you're not actually going to keep with it. Alrighty, so we want to make things as easy as possible. And remember, Christmas Day is just simply one day of the year. Alrighty, so let's look at then, implementing something outside of this particular day of the year. Alrighty, because it's not always going, I believe that you're not actually setting yourself up for success in that sense. If you're, I can't eat that because, it's got too much cream on it, or that one looks, is deep fried, so I can't eat that either. If we can actually portion control, if we can eat mindfully, if we can enjoy the day, then we're going to be a lot more successful at any type of nutrition plan that we put into place. Alrighty, so let's make it as easy as possible for ourselves and not put that extra pressure on ourselves over this period. Alrighty, guys, so they are my top tips to help see you thrive through this Christmas and through this festive season. If you need any extra support over this time, then please reach out. I'm here to help you. I would love to be able to help you. I'm wishing you and your family the most amazing Christmas. I hope you have a magical day and a magical festive season. Enjoy every moment that you get to spend with your friends, with your family, and the people around you. Wishing you a wonderful time. Alrighty, see ya.